The Boston Celtics survived a Marcus Morris senior masterclass. Bro had 25 points. If Marcus Morris has a 25-point game, I feel like if you're the Cavs, you should be able to win that game. Obviously, no Donovan Mitchell, no Karis LeVert, no Jarrett Allen. Same time, you get a 33-point game from Evan Mobley. Again, I talked about it before. He's been rising. He's been proving himself throughout these playoffs. And I think that he is someone that you can build around in the future. But we got to talk about Darius Garland, man. We got to talk about Darius Garland because he comes up with another stinker. 11 points in 44 minutes. You know, Donovan Mitchell's been out. We've seen Donovan Mitchell, even in the last round, kind of try to pick up Darius Garland up versus the Magic because he was struggling in that series. And he did come through in that series. But going into this series, he just was not playing well. And especially after Donovan Mitchell went out, it was his chance to take the keys, and he dropped them. And then we also have a stinker performance from Isaac Okoro. Obviously, he hasn't really been an offensive threat, but I think in order for the Cavs to take that next step, if they do decide to keep this core together, I think that he's going to have to make open jump shots and apply pressure on the rim. And now we get to the reports. You know, every time a team loses, we start getting reports. Coach is on the hot seat. This player didn't like his situation. This guy is looking elsewhere. And I'm very surprised, actually, that a lot of reports are coming out with the Cavs. One of the first things I saw is Evan Mobley's agent comes out and says in 2021, he actually didn't want to be a Cavalier. OKC was trying to trade up to 3 to go get Evan Mobley. Obviously, that didn't work out. The second thing I saw, JB Bickerstaff. I think personally, he's a pretty good coach in the NBA. I think if JB Bickerstaff does get let go, I think that a team like the Lakers would be first in line. I think that should be their number one get. And then we see reports of people being angry at Jarrett Allen. You know, he was out with, I believe, bruised or sore ribs. And there was people within that locker room, apparently, according to Shams, that said that people within the organization were mad that he didn't want to take like a numbing shot in order to be out there in the game. But moving on to the Celtics side of it, I think that the Celtics are in trouble. I think whoever comes out that Pacers and Knicks series are really going to give them a run for their money. Jason Tatum had 25 points. Al Horford had 22. And when you get Al Horford 22 points, you're going to win a game. Number one thing with the Celtics right now is just inconsistency. Again, we are feeling the absence of Kristaps Porzingis. I think if he was there, I think they'd be blowing these teams out. But the fact of the matter is he's not out there, and I think they're very vulnerable, especially if they're facing the Pacers or the Knicks. Brunson is playing his best basketball ever, probably in his life. Josh Hart's probably playing his best basketball in his life as well. If they end up playing the Pacers, Pascal is a really good player. Tyrese Halliburton's one of the best point guards in the league. I know he didn't have a great game last game, but I mean, he's been on and off pretty much just like the Celtics. So I think that he could torch them on any given day as well. There's also reports that Darius Garland would go up to the head officials of the Cavs and ask for a trade, or I should say Rich Paul will go up there and ask for a trade for Darius Garland if they decide to keep Donovan Mitchell. And to me, if they both want to stay, I think that they should just try to work it out. But I think the most likely person to leave is Donovan Mitchell. What would Cleveland do this summer? Are they going to go after LeBron James? Is there a LeBron James, Donovan Mitchell swap? Do they want to play together somewhere? We'll see what happens. We've seen LeBron at the game. But moving on to OKC versus Dallas, Derrick Jones Jr. has been amazing for them. Been amazing value. He puts up 17 points. I think he only misses 2 shots. He's on a vet minimum, so he's been a tremendous value. PJ Washington contributes with 10. He's still, you know, playing his role well. We get a typical Luka masterclass in this one. He's 30-point triple-double once again. Kyrie only puts up 12, but it doesn't matter. They dominate the OKC Thunder. It's going to be easy to beat this team when nobody outside of SGA is doing anything. SGA has a 30-point game, and nobody else has over 15. We see a lineup change in this one. Isaiah Joe in for Josh Giddey. I think we're seeing, again, the downfall of Josh Giddey. He's not going to be in an OKC Thunder uniform next year. He will be traded. But the OKC Thunder, in order for them to win, they're going to have to get somebody else to contribute. J-Dub, where you at, man? They need you. I feel like I've seen him. I looked at him as somebody who could turn into a Paul George. He's a Swiss Army knife where he's a 3D guy. You know what I'm saying? I think that he has the potential to be the best 3D guy in the league, but he's definitely not showing that right now. I know they're a young team. They got time to figure it out going through the future, but right now, as it is today, he is not helping out. Chet Holmgren, technically his rookie season. He's also not helping out that much as well. I mean, he had a couple good blocks, had a couple great open looks as well. He's just not knocking them down. This does not look like a number one seeded team. Dallas clearly looks like the better team. But I still think there's a chance for OKC to steal it at Dallas and come back home for a game 7. We will see with that. I want to talk about the Minnesota Timberwolves versus the Denver Nuggets. Jokic is the best player in the world. I don't think it's even close. I feel like Edwards was kind of getting that crown after game 2, again with the Michael Jordan comparisons, but I don't even think it's even close. I think when Jokic wants to dominate scoring wise, I think he could just turn that switch on anytime he wants. We've seen him very aggressive in this game 5. He had a 40-point game. Rudy Gobert, you got to give him props really for just guarding the MVP. I mean, he's the MVP. I don't know what people expect him to do. He's the best player in the world. He's one of the most efficient players we ever seen. And that's why in my last video, if you want to go check that out, I was talking about Jokic is probably the most dominant big man we ever seen. I mean, obviously not physically on the way that Shaq was, the way other players have been, like a Dwight Howard type, but he dominates in every other aspect of the game. He can shoot the ball. He can get dirty in the paint. He's a pretty solid rebounder. He finds the open man. He just knows how to read the game very well. And I think not only the most dominant big we've ever seen, like I think his ceiling right now is top 10 player of all time. I think that he can be the best big man of all time if he's not already considered there. And as far as that series goes, though, I think Minnesota's in trouble, obviously. I mean, they're going back to Minnesota. They have a chance to get one at home, but it's tough. I was going for Minnesota. I said if Minnesota didn't win in 6, even if they got to a game 7, it's over. I'm sticking to that. I'm saying Denver in 7 now. But I'm Roman. Make sure you check out all our other videos here at the Layup Lounge. If you're new, subscribe, like, share with your friends. Because we're trying to get monetized out here. We're trying to get monetized. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up for us. We out.